in this experience, he was practicing. He was doing the new song, but he had not yet contacted. He had not yet met the new presentation. So he was taught to breathe the new. Remember, at one time I shared something about breathing the new. So this guy, this person, before he met the new presentation, he was told the importance of breathing the new on the real side, and he had been doing it, just breathing the new until he met Mariam and his group and her group, and was surprised to hear about the new presentation and the new song, and singing the new. So this guy had a dream experience, and in the dream, he was at a very big gathering, and this gathering was a world conference on the new presentation. And he says, and I'm just looking at the French and translating at the same time. And then he says, at the conference, you had all some of the ex friends that are there, some of the new leaders. They saw there was Mariam there, there was Kelsey, there was Rata, there's Vesna, and others. So when they had this, when he after this conference, the delegates or the new friends, they went back, and then Mariam too came back, and then he realized that Mariam was doing the new song in the reverse manner, which means she was not singing the new but breathing it, and so he asked Mariam why he was doing that, and there was no explanation. Mariam just said it was also one of the ways, although not talked about by the new man, that we are just developed for fun or so to do the new song. So as Mariam was breathing the new, there was a very violent wind which tore apart everything. And he was very surprised that breathing this new that he had been told about in the on the inner, there was this kind of reaction. It scattered everything around. It blew apart there was a violent wind that swept through the place, and in fact, it swept through Africa as a whole. And very soon he saw that everything became new. The animals were vivified. the birds, the trees, the flowers, the rivers, and human beings were all had some kind of new life. So he not only realized in this dream experience the power of the Nu, but also came to the conclusion that breathing the Nu, as he had one time been told before ever meeting the Nu presentation, was an effective way of doing the Nu song too. So that's the dream. That's the dream experience. I was just looking at the French version and trying to translate simultaneously. So I don't know whether Duane has something to say about this. There's something that has come up there that is intriguing. A world conference a world Nu conference, which all the leaders and many other Nu friends attended. I don't know. So Duane, can you say something?
Yes, Charles, are you okay? It's a little sleepy over there.
Sorry?
Are you okay? It's a little sleepy over there where you are. What time is it there?
It's 1:11.
1:11. Oh, that's early.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's the right time, 1:11.
Yeah.
Well, we got you up. Yes, it is Sunday there?
Yeah, already Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, there's another fun experience. It's self-explanatory, really. So again, as these people get together, anybody, this is it. Things happen. People become more aware. They're seeing what's going on. You're seeing what's taking place on the real side as people decide. It's very, very simple. So, it's all about intent and focus. So this new life for everybody. So there's many ways to do it. Intent is the biggest, and what we step up to do, and etc. It all adds up to something. So again, he's seeing the end result. So he's shown the bigger picture. So I would say that also that it's interesting as new people many times come in, they're not so self-convinced about anything. They just do it, and all of a sudden they're surprised. It's like, oh gee, there's something else here, and they're easily shown what else there is. So yes, thank you for sharing that. That's cool. Thank you.
I guess the real guides have concern from the dumbed down people of Earth and other planets, and that is why they prepared you to come down here. Is it possible that due to the brazen nature of the authoritarians on this level of life, that the real guides can override the rules, the regulations, the laws here, just in order to create a real benefit for people of the Earth? For instance, you and Eva are real guides on the Earth plane level, which is a place where there's concern about money and economy. What if you could attract wealth and use it for everyone's benefit, including your own at this level? Well, why am I saying this? I read about one of the Indian saints, called them saints, the Avatar Sai Baba, who could attract wealth and use it for everyone's good, including himself. Well, I guess that is what money is meant for, to use use to move things around, to turn things around. While Sai Baba, in fact, his installations still remain, and his hospital is the only 5-star facility where there is no bill, there's no check paying counter. So people go there from all over the world. So many people got or they get world-class medical care because of that, because of this, of the benefit he created by manipulating money or attracting money to his, So I want to ask whether, in view of your great environmental and humanitarian projects for the world, would it not be creating a benefit for all if you could simply attract what the authoritarians are controlling for selfish interest and use it for the general good? Yeah, Duane, what do you say?
Well, it all looks easy, doesn't it? For some, it's easier than others. I know. My construction business, it was easy to do that. I worked hard, but it was easy to accumulate funds. As we go out into the world with what we're doing now, you have to, the appearance of things here is a particular. In other words, things appear to be. As we look at the White House in the United States, it appears to be really good. Everything looks really good, doesn't it? Is it really that? And the prosperousness of certain things, it looks good. I'm not saying it's not. Each person decides they got to figure it out for themselves. When it comes to what we're presenting, a lot of things here, you're talking about individuals, and if you look on the real side, you can see where they're really at with what they're doing. And yes, those things are needed, just like we need Band-Aids here. If we hurt ourselves, we put a Band-Aid on it. We cut our finger or whatever, put a Band-Aid on it. These things are needed. But, and for the most part, when those things are done like that, just like you put your attention there, and it seems to be something, and it is, but many times there's more than that. There's just a whole lot more than that. And so, yeah, it would seem so, wouldn't it? And then when you see the people that utilize these facilities, which is fine, what happens many times too is they also become dependent upon them. And what does that equal? What's the end result? So in other words, let's say this individual, he accumulated money, he built this hospital. And so what is the real focus of doing all this? Is it to just heal people and cure them? You see? So what's being presented here is of a particular, it's this isness to where it totally frees the individual without dependency. But at the same time, we do all these things here. We drive our car, we have our house, we have our job. Yeah.
Hello. Please leave a message.
There becomes, is there a difference? Well, each one of us has to decide that. And yes, I've been working on certain things for a long time, but the picture keeps getting bigger. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like buying a piece of land. I'm looking at what I've been through here, basically over the last 10 years, trying to make things of a particular. It's like buying a piece of land, and let's say it's an acre, and you want to build a house or a building on it. Well, all of a sudden, as you start drawing the plans, suddenly you realize, hey, I want to do more. I want a lot bigger, so I'm going to need 5 acres now. So what you do is you go out and purchase 5 acres. And then you start to do the plans for that. And all of a sudden, something else comes into your awareness. Oh, gee, now I'm going to need 100 acres. I want it bigger. Then eventually I see that, I want to cover the whole world and the galaxy and all of creation. So that takes a few minutes. And so, yes, it would seem that that little hospital does a lot. And it does for those people. And they do need that for that time. I get it. And I could spend my time doing that. It wouldn't be hard as a contractor. No, I could do a lot of these things. I could do what Trump does and whatever, all these businesses or anybody, I see that too. But that's not the focus or the intent. And so overall, again, look at how many people have come to the new presentation. And if we go back to some of the Africans in the past where they wanted, like, where's the miracles from the real guides and all these things, you see? They want their instant gratification. Well, I get it. And I'm not saying this or that about the hospital. Everything is choice. But there is more to all of this. And yes, it's a bit of a struggle to bring the bigger picture in. Plus, what you get is you get bigger resistance to not have it here. But anyhow, the first experience you shared, you're seeing what's taking place. So I focus on the isness. And what I see is just like the experience that you were shown. Eventually, because just as an example, Joni has come to me many times and says, Duane, I have the membership. You have nothing. Well, I've told her, I said, well, let's see how it all comes out, you see. So yeah, it looks like I'm crawling down the road there. But all of a sudden, you see, you're seeing it come in. There's a bigger picture that's being dealt with that eventually will show up and blow all this stuff away. But you got to see it. You got to be patient. And it would seem like those little things work. Well, they do. Everything works. I'm glad the market's down here, the Walmart neighborhood market. I'm glad it's down there. Or I can buy my grapes and my whatever down there, lemons and tuna fish, whatever. I'm glad it's there. These are all part of it. But that's not my intent. That's just something there. So again, the fun part, Charles, is when you see these things that look good in the world, and there's a lot of things that look good, go to the real side and you'll be shown what it's really all about and how far it goes. And so if people are provided something like they are here, like the entertainment industry, people are provided the entertainment industry, and it's great. I like it because I see it as documentaries. But at the same time, most people see it as entertainment, and they're stopped right there. They're stopped, even though they get that little thrill and they went to the movies and they talk about it for a few minutes afterwards and they're on to the next thrill. What is it all equal? So there is something like never before, a bigger picture here. But again, you really got to see it. And I know it's really hard on me. I go through a lot because to decide this and take this on, it would have been easier if I would have just wrote the books like Paul did and created the membership. That's really easy. Anybody can do that. You can see that all these, teachings and paths out there, that's easy to do. But I saw that, no, that doesn't go very far. So I took the harder road. And there is a bigger picture. And no, we don't have thousands and thousands of people here. But there are a few that see this reality because all it takes is one sun in the sky to light up all this darkness. And look at the sun overhead. It shines on the earth, and it's a lot bigger than that hospital. And yet it's nothing compared to the isness. So it's how you see it and where your intent is. So again, it's very interesting how things are, how we've come through things here on the earth in this dimension and the appearance of things. And it's all necessary. Nothing is negated. I'll say that many times. Because, the first thing that comes into the personal mind, which I understand is, oh, Duane, you're saying that we can't do this or we shouldn't do this or we shouldn't go to that hospital. No, I never said that. I said, you know, it's your choice. You decide. But as you develop and to recognize your real intent about a much bigger picture, guess what? All of that will supersede all that. And yes, you may be hurting for a while and in agony or whatever, but the end result is you'll get through it if you don't get to the hospital. I've been there many times. So, you know, all these things apply, but I look at the intent of everything. What is the end result in the intent? That's what really comes out. And the focus here is the isness life is. And there's a much bigger picture that's coming. You're just seeing in that first experience, you're just seeing a very small part of it. But there's something bigger that's being dealt with, that has been dealt with for a long time. You know, it's kind of like the cable company. You know, before you can have your cable TV or your phone lines, they got to lay the cable, and they lay it all over. Okay, they put it in the streets and whatever. They lay it all over. They do it underground now. In the beginning, it was they attached it to the phone wires overhead, but now they lay it underground. And so it's there. Okay, it's there for everybody, but not everybody connects because you decide if you're going to connect to it or not. That's where you come in. Everything, you got to meet everything halfway. This is where life meets you halfway, you might say. You got to connect. So uh, the boys and myself and others that have the awareness, we're laying the cables, and it's a much bigger picture. But you got to see it. But most people, they come, they take a few things, they leave. That's all they see, because you really have to look at the real side. And here's another experience again that's demonstrating something. What is it demonstrating? It's demonstrating a possibility. All right. Life is not going to do it for people. It's demonstrating a possibility. It's always a possibility because there's always free will involved. And who will step up and take part in that? You see, so there's always more to it. But yes, then you get to the solidness of the hospital and it looks good. And yes, if you want to build a hospital, go ahead. Yeah, I could do that too. I could go out there and be the contractor and do it, and then I wouldn't have much time to do this. So it depends upon what you decide and what your intent is. And I know this is so big and so invisible that it's hard for people to grasp. They're trying to get their mind around it, and in a certain way you can with the creation part, but the reality of it is just a whole lot more. So again, that's a personal decision, and yes, that can be done, Charles. And all things are needed. Whatever comes, it comes. But at the same time, working on the bigger picture that will be very interesting. But all we can do is present it. People have to decide to connect. And this is, all these lifetimes have led up to this, and people are still in their old routines. They have to decide to see more and be more and do something. That's a choice each person makes, or they just keep doing the same routines they always have. But yes, you're seeing a hint of what already is, and then as certain individuals decide it be so, it will be so. But again, it's like you're seeing the cable company there. You decide to connect, and if you don't have the money to do it, well, you figure out how to do it, or you don't, whatever. But there's always a way, but you just got to figure it out. But anyhow, so yes, Charles, yes, everything is fine. It's just simply choice again. It's choice. I chose the bigger picture. That's a lot tougher. It would have been easier to do those things. It would have been easier for me to collect money to build a hospital. It really would. Yeah, as opposed to the new presentation and the all humanitarian programs that starts people off to recognize the isness, to create the universal university. That's a much bigger picture. And for the most part right now, people have no idea what it is because it's just too much. So little by little, it'll become so. Yes. And so Val will handle that. He gets the challenge of that just like you have Africa. Yes, Charles. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay.